Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over the Kramer Assault Plus. I personally was looking for a Floyd Rose guitar with a locking tremolo system. I had looked and looked and looked and looked, and I come across the Gibson Access, and it does have a German Floyd Rose on it. $5,500. That's out of my price range. Then I looked at ESP Ltd had one, and I did like that guitar. I just didn't really care for the headstock that they put on it. I ran across the Kramer. The first one I saw was the cheaper version. It's I think it's a Kramer branded, or it's the special Floyd Rose bridge. Does not have the Seymour Duncan pickups and has more of a traditional style headstock. Then I ran across this one, and what's the old saying? If you're going to have sacrilege, let's just go all the way with it. Putting a reverse banana headstock on a Les Paul style body with a Floyd Rose bridge and a jazz neck and a jazz bridge pickup. I just had to get one. Let's kind of go over what Kramer claims the specs are on this. And if you couldn't tell, I do have my cheat sheet. Kramer claims it is a mahogany body with a flame maple top. And this one does have a really nice flame maple top on it. The neck is mahogany with a maple neckboard. It has 24 medium jumbo frets, and the scale length is 25.5. We have two zebra colored pickups. This is the JB, and then we have the jazz neck, the JN. I always said, jazz bridge, jazz neck. I'm not too sure if that's the actual name from Seymour Duncan. The pickups have coil splits, both pickups. This pickup is the bridge, this pickup is the neck, and then you have one tone knob. The jack is on a metal plate. This isn't plastic. And it's quite positive when it clicks in. It's a nice tight feel to it. There's a three-way toggle switch in the traditional location. The switch feels okay. There is a positive lock to it, but there also feels like there's a rolled edge inside the switch. I haven't opened it up to look at it, but once it gets to a certain point, it really snaps into the next position. The Floyd Rose, this is not the German, and it is also not the special. They call this the 1000 series, which I believe means that the material that they used is hard like the German steel, but it is manufactured in Korea. Tuning ratio for the tuners, they're claiming it's 14.1. Other notes, the locking nut up here is an R2. They're claiming 1.625 inches here, and they're saying this neck profile is a K-Speed Super Slim Tapered C. And it is thin. It's not super thin, and it does feel like a Tapered C neck. The neck itself doesn't feel sticky. Some finished necks will get a sticky feel to it. This one feels rather smooth. There is no catch. It smooths right into the back of the neck. So there's no volute. We have a string tree here. That allows the string angle here to be correct to the tuners from the net. And the only thing I've done to the guitar is I have put strap lock buttons on it. Next added little feature I like, they've routed this out to make quick adjustments to the claw for the bridge. I like that. Now let's go over the overall fit and finish. I've already inspected the body. There's only one spot right here. It's not a crack. What I think happened here is some clear coat dribbled from the gun and put a spot. And in between the spray and the clear coat, it was sanded out, but there is ever so slight a little ridge right there. And usually that comes from a flaw in the clear coat finish. And it does look like they sanded it out, but there is a slight ripple right there. As far as dings, dents, there was none on the guitar. Still isn't. The book match seam here is flawless, and it should be. This is a $830 guitar. The pickup covers fit flush to the body. See no issues there. The pickups sit square, level, and straight in the guitar. The route for the tremolo looks good. They've did a little scoop route for the switch and the knobs. This one looks good, but the switch is a little off-centered to the scoop. Looks like it's pushed that way just ever so slightly. The volume knobs, on the other hand, look like they are sitting center in the little dishes that they've routed out. So that looks nice. This one's a little harder to check your neck pocket because it is not a bolt-on neck. But it feels smooth. There's no cracks, because this is a glue-on. And sometimes right here, you'll end up with some extra poly, because it'll build up in this crack. That looks good as well. Corner looks good. Let's go up and look at our neck here. Our nut, that's really good. Our side finish to the nut is really good. Our banana headstock looks good. And these are unbranded tuners, so not really sure where they're sourcing those from. This guitar is made in Indonesia. Here's a close-up of the headstock. And a close-up of the jack piece. So the fit and finish so far looks pretty good on it. Let's check out, now I still have the plastic covers on these, so let's check this. I am going to say that they are sitting out of the body, except right here. Right here it's flush. Out of the body 0.5 inches, or 0.5 millimeters, sorry, 0.5 inches. Boy, they'd be sticking way out. They are, I'm going to say, like I said, a half a millimeter, 0.5. pretty good. This cover is flush right here, and then it begins to stick out on this side. And that's even less, I'm going to say 0.25 millimeters sticking out. And again, a lot of this is the amount of screws you use. If this piece here is made out of a thinner material, when you put the screw in here, it can actually cause a deflection, make the piece bow out here. So it'll go in, out, in, out, in. So sometimes you can fix this just by going in and checking how tight these screws are. I have not done that. So let's look at some basic out-of-the-box settings, because I haven't really set up this guitar at all. We're going to take our gauge here. We're going to put it on the neck and see what the factory has given us. And I'm going to say that that's good. I'm going to call that 0.8 millimeters of relief. Hopefully we can get that on camera and you can see it. Now we're checking down here. Yep, the neck looks good. So it does have a little relief from the factory. Let's see what they set the strings up at. Let's set it up like this. The low E to the bottom, we are going to call point at the 12th, 0.060, and I can barely see the black line on the StewMac gauge. Let's check our high E. And our high E is set at 0.04, I'm going to say 75. It's not quite at 0.05. So the action on this guitar is low here, and I'd say average on the high E, the low E. So let's get some numbers on the neck. Let's see what our neck actually measures out at our nut. And I do have tape on this, so it's going to throw it off probably a 0.5 millimeter. We have 42 millimeters. We'll double check that. Yep, 42 millimeters. Our thickness it's going to be hard to do with the strings on there, isn't it? We'll just do the width then. May have to come back and give you that measurement. At the 12th, we're right at 55 millimeters at the 12th on the width. And I might be able to do this one. Our thickness at the 12th is 22.5 millimeters thickness. And then the part everyone wants to see. How good is the neck from the factory, or the frets? The side of the frets, Keep in mind, this is from the factory. I don't feel anything super sharp, but it would take less than 10 minutes just to go back and chamfer just a little bit more on the side of these frets. Do I feel anything sharp? No. But for my taste, I would prefer just a little bit more fret dressing on the end. Dress them up just a little bit more. None of them are protruding out past the neck. It does feel decent. I would say that's average for a $800 price point guitar. Let's check our neck. And right away on this one, I can feel the fretwork is pretty decent. The gauge is slippery on the top of the frets, so they've had some polishing. Right there. And I'm going to say it is ever so slight. But there is some there. I want to be completely truthful. I would say most would call that good, but there is a slight rock there. And the same right there. Exact same fret. And then it's good here. So just in that position. Okay. One spot. And as I said, I believe most people would call that good. But there is a slight rock right there. It would just be the two strings here. That would be very easily just kind of dress that one file with the string still on the guitar. This guitar doesn't need a fret leveling. The neck feels decent on it. And as I said, the frets feel, I mean, they're not super polished smooth. I know a lot of players prefer their frets to this polish level. They're smooth, but they're not glass smooth. The neck has a very nice profile. Let's see. They also claim, which I can verify, it ships with 42 to 9 strings. And I believe that's all the information we have on our little cheat card. And that's pretty much everything that I can tell you about the guitar. I've been playing it for over a month. It's been here for about 2 months. The tremolo is extremely stable. I abuse it. Can you get it to go out of tune? Sure. If you just really go crazy and just abuse the tar out of it, yes, it will go out of tune. It is extremely stable though. I don't think that you can get any floating bridge that you can just for hours and hours and hours abuse and it not go out of tune. This bridge seems to do very, very well. The stock springs and stuff on the guitar, I haven't noticed any spring noise. Sometimes you'll get this twing, twing. Have not noticed that whatsoever. This route also allows for a fair amount of pull-up on that bridge. I mean, you can really go crazy on the amount of pull-up that you can get. It's pretty deep. Let's check that and see just how deep that pocket route is. It is 10 millimeters deep. They've also put a small foam pad in there, so quite a bit of movement there. All right, let's plug the guitar in and see what it sounds like. Okay, here's our guitar. We're plugged in, and for reference, again, we're playing through the Applied Research Technology SGX 2000 Express to an inline tube sweetener, to a 362 BBE, then into a BK Butler 6L6 power amp, and we have 4 greenback Celestions. Let's do a sustain test just to see how it sustains. That's pretty good. I'm at a moderate volume. I'm not really loud. If you face the guitar to the amp at higher volumes, it is quite responsive. It likes that input from the speakers. You can really get a lot of sustain out of it. The Seymour Duncans really do well at that. So let's play a couple things on it and see what we can get out of it. Okay, we're back. I have changed the amplifier to a clean channel. Exact same units, SGX 2000 Express, inline tube sweetener, 362 BBE, 6L6 power amp, and 4 Celestion greenbacks. Volumes are at 100%. Tone is also at 100%. We'll start with our bridge pickup. Now let's go to our center position. That's going to be our neck and our bridge together. let's go to our neck position. Okay, we're going to make some adjustments. We're going to go to our center position. We're going to roll off our bridge pickup a little bit. We're going to roll back our tone just a little bit. The JB and the neck position jazz, which would be the NJ, they're just really good pickups. They have a nice, clean, sweet. You can get a real jazzy sound out of them. You can get a really nice, warm, open chord. And they also respond really well to distortion. That's probably why a lot of the late 80s, early 90s guitar players really loved this pickup combination. So we're going to again make a couple changes to the amp. We're going to do just a little bit of distortion and maybe like a late 80s sound or maybe a southern rock type tone, and see what the guitar sounds like. Okay, reset the gain on the amp. We're still technically on the clean channel. I've given it about 20% gain on the drive end of the SGX 2000. So let's see what that sounds like. Try that again, middle position. And again, neck position. thoughts on the Kramer Assault. I believe it's a good guitar, and at the $830 price point, I don't really see any flaws in it for that price point. Is the guitar perfect? No. We did point out there is a slight flaw in the finish. All in all, it's a great guitar. You can really go crazy with this tremolo. It stays in tune. It stays in tune very well, even when you're abusive on it. It breaks up really good. It has a nice clean tone, and it also likes playing the medium distortion type sounds. You can really get a lot of different sounds. We didn't even go into the coil taps. You want a little thinner stratty sound? Coil tap it. Does it sound like a Strat? No. But it does give you a thinner sound. Again, I think it's a good guitar. I don't see any videos on it. I don't know why the guitar doesn't get the love that it really deserves. If you have the opportunity to pick one of these up and play it, you really should. Give the Kramer Assault a chance. And give one last view of the guitar. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. Have a great day.